Hey, everybody. Welcome to Don't Make Me Come Back There. We are a funny podcast about family. My name is Dustin Nickerson. I'm a stand-up comedian and the host of the aforementioned podcast. And alongside me in our state-of-the-art recording studio / old historic hotel in downtown La Mesa, California. This is a very small hotel room.
I'm trying to think which way the bed went.
I don't, and don't ask questions about the stains, is my lovely wife and co-host, CFO, overall great gal, Melissa Nickerson.
Hey
I'm
there.
on to water because this is his second episode today. Mel's going strong on a second cup of Joe.
I was just thinking maybe our son could live here for college. We're already paying for it.
I like the way you're thinking.
Maybe like a trundle bed, kind of.
Ooh.
Murphy bed.
I know. I like maybe a cot, maybe something in the corner. You know, he could hang his clothes right there, and then he just has to be out on Tuesday mornings.
That's right.
For our little podcast
we just
that could
solved
hear.
all our problems.
Everybody, it's the future for Melissa and I right now. If you're listening to this, it would be Wednesday, June 12th, I think, if my math is correct, which it rarely is. And because we're doing 2-a-days right now, because, you know, we got a hustling and bustling month.
Summer is here.
Summertime.
In the LBC.
Yeah. In the
That was nice.
It was nice. Lana Del Rey song. Kidding. That's the cover. It's a Sublime song. You know what's always been a funny little moment, and somebody called this out on a meme right now, in the old Sublime song. I'm not a Sublime fan. Just never smoked enough pot. And there's a line where in the Lovin's What I Got It goes, and I can play the guitar like a mother. Riot, and then continues on to play the lamest solo. You're like, is the guitar out of tune? I mean, if you're gonna say mother effing riot, and it's not a bad solo, it sounds nice, it fits within the song.
Yeah.
It is not a riot, let alone a mother bleeping riot. Bow, bow, ba-dow, bow. Ooh, he hit 2 notes at the same time.
Of other bands that were writing, like he was no Tom Morello.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Yeah. Even in the air. I'm like, this is early 90s. I'm pretty sure Guns N' Roses was still together.
Totally.
I don't know. Soundgarden's over there still going. Soundgarden, Pearl Jam still, you know.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah.
Bow, bow, ba-dow, bow.
And here's Gwen Stefani.
Yeah. Okay, well.
Yeah.
Anyways, you know, any of our regular backseaters here, you know, 2-episode days, we get a little loosey-goosey.
Yes.
Mel has also been drinking, so it's...
No, I haven't.
Mel, just be honest. Who are you hiding this from?
If so, I need to be honest with myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you want to cheers? No?
I think we cheers already.
I don't know. I don't think we did. I think we did the first episode. Cheers.
Cheers.
Here we are.
Mel's drunk.
I am not.
Drunk in love. Drunk in love.
Oh, gosh.
It's also a lot of times second episodes, anytime anything reminds me of any song lyric ever,
Okay.
I'll just sing. I'll just blurt it out.
You
so I'll try to keep that under control, but no promises.
Shall we,
Now you just blew right in my face. Just...
Dude, okay, well, you just got me in the eye.
Yeah.
Give me some dates, Dustin.
Upcoming tour dates, everybody. Thanks, Florida. You were fantastic. This weekend, San Diego. Can't go back to San Diego. June 14th through 16th. And then July, Rosemont, Chicago. The cities, it's too easy to do. Huntsville, Nashville, Fort Wayne, Atlanta, Charleston, Asheville. I'm gonna move mine a little bit here. Charlotte, Omaha. If you're going to Sacramento, from Oakland to Sacktown, the Bay Area, and back down. Do you want me to keep doing this or not? Addison, Tacoma. Jump on it. Jump on it. I don't think there's an Appleton one. Austin, Louisville, the Great Salt Lake. That's a band of horses.
Wait, you just missed Boston and Appleton.
Oh, Boston, Appleton, Salt Lake City, Oxnard, Bakersfield, Raleigh, Oklahoma City, Tulsa, and Spokane.
We did it.
We did it. We did it.
Just barely.
We did it. Hooray. Guys, we have a lot that we may or may not get to today.
Okay.
But it's summertime, everybody, and you know what summer means. What are you going to do with your kids?
Yeah, a lot of children time. Mm-hmm.
Summer is like essentially reliving the pandemic of like everybody's home, there's no school. How do we fill the time?
It's hot.
It's hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the biggest issue, because you kind of gotta approach it like your kids grow and change every summer.
Mm-hmm.
Biggest issue in our house is that we have 2 teenagers and 1 preteen.
Yeah.
So, for example, last night they did a boba run with their chore money at 8:15.
Right.
And our 10-year-old has to go to bed. Like, she has to be asleep by 9. She doesn't sleep in.
Yeah.
And that is an issue.
Yeah.
So, like, the teenagers are nocturnal, but then we still have the 10-year-old who needs to sleep.
Yeah.
And then the cats ruin that for everyone.
Yeah.
They wake everyone up. They wake up too early. They want to get in. They want to get out.
Yeah.
And as I've said to you before, if I'm going to sleep, I have to, my window is 11:30 to 7:30.
Yes.
And that is when no one in the house will hopefully bother me.
Right.
The
right.
teenagers will be home. The 10-year-old will be asleep still.
Yeah.
And she did get in our bed last night, so I don't even know what I'm talking about.
The girl?
The 10-year-old. Yes.
Oh, I didn't even catch that.
At 3, she was in our bed last night.
And you got her out?
And I got her a banana, and she went back to bed. I forgot about that.
At least she's a healthy late night eater.
Late night snack, banana. But it's just young adults do not have the same lifestyle as their working parents. And I know we don't have the same lifestyle as like 9-to-5ers. But they stay up late. They do their homework late at night. They talk to their friends late at night.
They talk to you late at night.
They cook in the kitchen late at night. It's all loud and late.
Yeah.
So it's a struggle. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is a struggle. My 14-year-old was really mad at me because I was telling her to go to bed at 10:45 last night. And yeah.
Well, one of the nice things about having teenagers is that they love you, and they show that through hatred. They communicate. Teens love to communicate love through just disrespect and a general sense of, I wish you didn't exist.
And as a parent, you're supposed to not take that personally because it's the angst.
Yeah.
But you still do have to say, like, you have to go to bed.
You have to go to bed.
Yeah.
I'm not gaslighting you. You need to go to bed.
It's just everyone's asleep but you, and you need sleep.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry I'm annoying.
Yeah.
I know I'm annoying. Nobody wants to be told to go to bed.
Yeah.
But so it's a timeless tradition.
The tale is old as time.
And that's what
you smell like a beast.
You don't want to go to bed.
Yeah.
I have to get up and work.
1 hour skincare routine.
You don't have a blemish on your face. $100 in oils and serums.
Lotions and potions. It's
but
gosh.
That's what
galore.
That's what summer is. And as I have told my friends, curfew is your son's in the In-N-Out drive-through.
Yes.
At curfew. And you're like, you're not home.
If you want to know,
in fact, you have 5 friends to drop off at their homes.
Yes.
Before you get home.
Yes. If you want to know,
you'll be home tomorrow.
True. If you want to know exactly what it's like to raise a teenager, it's telling them that they shouldn't do an hour-long skincare routine with about $200 of products, and then them telling you that you're being unreasonable. That you're crazy for going, I don't know, you're 14, an hour seems like a lot. And I don't think you need to put bee pollen on your skin at 14. You believed in Santa 24 months ago. This seems like a jump in maturation. You are willing to spend every dollar that you've ever earned or were given for any holiday for an anti-aging cream. And you're like, you're 14. You can't age.
It's
you
impossible.
Can't. And
It's
actually,
impossible.
at your age, it's probably best if you look a little older, actually. Like a 14-year-old's wanting to look young, you're like, all right, Peter Pan, I think it's time to grow up. It's, the skincare routine for the teenage girl, it's, what are we doing? Stop selling this to them. Stop allowing.
It's money.
I know it's money. I know.
Mm-hmm.
I understand the concept of capitalism.
Totally.
But we used to sell them like magazines or clothes or like stuff they needed or would they read or stuff. Like the idea that you're just pumping in this vanity into you're trying to convince a girl of how perfect her face has to be, and that face masks a brain that's not even going to develop for 9 more years. No putting cream on your face till your brain's formed. That
would be amazing.
Can that be a law?
But I mean, you got to think how many influencers they're watching a day.
Yeah.
Do these skincare routines.
I don't get it. I don't understand. You're like, why are we pumping in vanity into young women? I mean, society has already put this incredible pressure on them that, like, you are how good you look. And then the internet is just full of influencers going, yes, that's correct. And this is how you look that good, which I understand has always existed. But if there is one thing that I could take off of TikTok, it is the skincare influencer. I want them off the app. I'll have the app banned just for that reason. You can keep all the other crap on there. You got to take the skincare influencer telling a 10-year-old that a $200 bee pollen anti-aging cream is this season's must-have.
Well, it's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
But they're
even...
getting a promo code. They're getting a little kickback. They can write off all their skincare routine because they're an entrepreneur.
If you're gonna teach a young human to put an hour into anything, their skincare doesn't break the top 100.
Right.
Go exercise. Go read. Go draw. Go climb a tree. Go play in traffic. Go playing in traffic will teach a 10-year-old better life lessons than having an hour skincare routine. Because you learn that life's hard out here. That there are more important things than wrinkles under your eyes. I can't. Wash your face. Okay, wash your face. Heck, put a little moisturizer on there. Go to bed. You're 14. You look great. You look great, man. I got to take out a loan. I got to. You want me to? You're like no. Oh yeah. Let's. You know what? I do need a Sephora credit card for sure. Let me start getting some Sephora points, honey. You get college or collagen. Those are your choices.
Our daughter went to Sephora, used my phone number, and got my birthday freebie.
I mean, if she would put half that amount of work into her studies, she would be the valedictorian. Anyways, what I'm saying is we're locked in with these kids for the summer. And we got some trips coming up. And it's just hard to entertain teens because anytime somebody's advertised as like fun for the whole family, what that means is the teens will hate this, right? The teens will just like, we're going to, even if we like it, we can't show you that we like it.
I think, the teens are a hard demo. They're a hard demo to get into. Our son loves travel. So,
yeah.
So he enjoys
Right.
the trips. And, clearly that's a perk of our work and lifestyle is taking them on these trips.
Yeah. And that went so well in Des Moines last week. And they're very excited to get on a Southwest flight to Chicago in a couple weeks.
I have one day this summer that I'm dreading. Mm-hmm. And that is the day that I fly all 3 children by myself to Atlanta. Yeah.
Hot Atlanta.
And that is not...
Yeah,
that's
so
not
we
going to be a good day for
we
Mel.
serve. We volunteer at Hope Heals every year, camp out in Alabama. Not easy to get to Alabama, but I'm out with Bergetzi the whole 10 days before, and so I'm flying from Chicago and meeting you guys in Atlanta.
And it's just nice, like when we take in our 2 cats and Bunny to get boarded.
Yeah,
it's nice to have another adult.
Yes.
Because it's about 8 things you have to carry.
Plus, I'm easy to travel with. Like
we just get in line behind you,
exactly.
and you just check us all in.
I check everyone in. I give everyone. There's no boarding passes when things go wrong, like they did in Denver. I'm on it. I'll find our way. I got the stuff. We walk into the rental car. We just find our spot.
You have all the codes and apps, and I have some of them too. But I more am just. I kind of focus on Claire, and you focus on all the scanning the apps, and so when we're down one adult, anyway, we'll make it. Yeah. There's just always an event or a thing. I mean, it's not going to be easy coming off 10 solo days without you here.
I mean, I'm gonna
in San Diego.
And I'm going 10 solo days to camp.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be in rough shape.
And
I think I'm gonna be on a bus that whole time too. I'm gonna go a solid 3 weeks without a good shower, I think.
Yeah, that's true. And also, sometimes we bookend our service trip with some, I guess, a fun destination. Yeah. And we're not doing that this time. And
we've southed pretty hard. We've Nashville, we've Memphis, we've Atlanta. They've gotten it. This one, we're just going in, boom. I think we're seeing your sister before we leave, and then.
But we do have friends at camp. That's
our kids love the camp. It's a good time.
But it is also hot and a lot of work.
I mean, it's Alabama in July.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's so hot. And I was like, do you guys not know about California? It's really, really mild during the summer. I actually appreciate our summers more than any other time of the year because I travel so much, and everywhere I go during the summer is awful. Humidity's everywhere. Like, pretty much... The West Coast, to me, is the only tolerable spot during the fall because everything is either too hot, like in the desert, or it's humid, Like the mountains are great, too. I'm sorry, in the summer.
Summer? Okay.
But, so do some travel. Some other things that we wanted, we're kind of getting into some summer season stuff. There's been some topics that we've been wanting to talk about for a while. One is concerts. We're Mel and I got a lot of concerts coming up. We're big concert goers. We saw in the last couple of months. We saw Group Love. We saw Drew Holcomb. We saw the Cold War Kids. Did we get another one in there? I think there might have been. We went to a big comedy show. If we make it back in time, we're gonna go see Cage the Elephant. We are trying to go see Head in the Heart at Red Rocks for our anniversary. We got some. We might, when we're in New York, dashboards in New York, we might just go have a cry night. It would be a good little,
we're seeing the National again.
We're seeing the National again, but I think we might go to Foo Fighters, and people are like, that's a lot of money. Guys, my job has a couple perks, and one of them tends to be tickets. And the ones that I do pay for are like Not a Surf in the fall, and we're like, that's going to be a pretty reasonable ticket, Yeah. Anyway, so you took Claire, this is a while back, to her first concert.
Yeah.
You took her to one of her favorite probably her very favorite artists, M. by Hold.
We saw M. by Hold on her first headlining tour.
Which is crazy because she's had a couple hits.
Yeah, and it was her last tour, last city of the tour, and she's from like LA, San Diego. Like she went to
I didn't know that.
She went to USC.
Oh.
Or UCSD. Yeah. I don't know.
Well, there's no way to know.
I don't know.
Either.
But she it was amazing because M. by Hold's like a singer-songwriter. She had a couple hits during the pandemic. She talks a lot about mental health and,
Oh, she went to UCSD.
yeah. Breakups. And so she was at Soma, which I'd never been to.
She also competed in the NCAA fencing and received an All-American honor in 2019.
Now that's a stat.
Oh, my God.
That is crazy.
I did not know that.
Her first song she wrote when she was 7. It was a patriotic song called America Home. Behold attended the University of California SD, where she competed in NCAA fencing and received an NCAA All-American honors. And she's an All-American fencer.
No way.
Whoa, this rules.
She did not mention that.
She studied classical and jazz piano.
Yeah, she's a great musician.
Is she?
And
Yeah.
Again, I'm no one to compare to, in the sense I don't know music like musicians, but
Yeah.
she played the piano, she played the ukulele, sang. I don't know. She did great.
Ukulele is a deceptive instrument because my kids have all been like, I think I'm going to learn how to play the ukulele for this song. I was like, you have to. It's a guitar. I know it looks real easy,
And it's a different guitar.
It's a different
It's
guitar.
not the same as a normal guitar.
Yeah. It's
So
a whole
it's-
different set of notes. You're not going to just pick that up.
Yeah, I figured out, I'm like, oh, I can play the top 2 strings and do stuff. But as a guitar player, I'm like, I have to learn this instrument.
Yeah. Whole new set of notes. So you took it was at Soma. It was general admission. There was no seating, and so we did. It was a very reasonable concert, and it was her Christmas present. So we did the VIP thing mostly so she could get the picture with her, do the Q&A. But it was more so to secure good seating, because the problem when you take a kid to a general admission show, if they're in the back, they can't see. And Mel is strong, but not hold a 10-year-old on her shoulders for an hour and a half strong.
So instead, I stood in the front row for 5 hours.
Yes. You really limited your fluids.
I did not drink anything at that show.
Yeah.
Not a thing.
Which is tough.
So we got in line. We were at the back of the line of the meet and greet, waiting outside. Quite windy. It was like 5:30. We get in. We are like third row, just standing.
Yeah.
Amazing meet and greet. She did about 3 or 4 songs. Amazing.
Yeah.
Claire asked a couple questions. It was wonderful.
It was really sweet.
And all of her fans that were there are really kind, really supportive, mostly women, like
Sure.
quite a few mother-daughter duos like ourselves. So after the meet and greet, I sent Claire to the merch table with my credit card. She's 10.
Yeah.
She got herself a shirt, came back with the shirt, and I think we took turns doing a bathroom break. But otherwise, I stood manning that position. The first guy played for like an hour.
Yeah.
And then they got to set up the next band.
Hey,
and
take it from an opener, guys. Limit your opening time. People, leave them wanting a little more.
It was fine, but he did a good job, but I don't think M took the stage until about 9:30.
Yeah.
And so spirits were getting low
Yes.
because we didn't have anything like water.
Yeah.
But we did make it. It was touch and go there before she came on stage. I was like, hey, we can leave whenever you want.
Yeah.
It's your concert.
My experience is most that feeling goes away as soon as the headliner comes on stage.
And it did. It did. But there were girls around us who were just about at their breaking point.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And some of the moms, like, they did the whole Taylor Swift thing. So there were some
You stay here.
Swifties
I'll
there.
go get in the merch line.
There were some Swifties
Yeah.
there. They were nice, kind young women there and moms, and we had a blast. Claire did heart hands to M. Byhold, and she like joined heart hands with Claire. We got some awesome videos. She just loved it. Everything was closed after the concert, so we hit up In-N-Out, late night In-N-Out.
Yep.
Because we were exhausted and hungry.
And you're in sports arena, baby. One of my
And-
least favorite areas in San Diego.
So, it was an undertaking. I had taken the big kids to an arena concert for their first concert
Lizzo before.
before.
Yeah.
But that was tough for Gloria because it's like a Padres game, but everyone's standing, and she wasn't ready for the lines and how loud it was, and she wanted a shirt, and that took forever. She wasn't ready. I tried to prepare Claire, and you can't really prepare someone for an arena concert or a small venue concert.
Yeah, if you don't know what to expect, it's a lot of like kind of flying. There's a lot of lines. There's a lot of waiting. Yeah.
But overall, it was as best first concert experience as we could have for Claire. And in general, we try to, if the kids don't want stuff for Christmas, we're like, great, let's do an experience. And so that's what we did. But it is like, it's a commitment.
Huge
You're
commitment.
like, okay, that's going to be a day.
Yeah, and
for the parent.
That's what I'm saying. If you're looking,
and you're like, it would have been easier just to buy you a box of Legos. However, you don't just buy stuff to buy stuff.
You don't buy stuff just to buy stuff. And one of the nice things, this is the first time we've done this, where like we did that for holidays. We'll buy them kind of a future experience.
Yeah,
and
maybe it's a core memory. Maybe not.
It's a core memory.
Maybe not.
We did quote unquote buy tickets for VidCon for Claire, and now we're trying to buy her out. Be like, or you could just get that money. And then we don't have to take you to VidCon, which looks like a whole thing.
Well,
it's a hotel.
Now you're traveling that whole 2 weeks. So we're just like,
to pay for those VidCon tickets. No, we haven't actually bought them. So anyways, I think taking your kids to a concert is a great summer activity or year-round one, especially when, you can kind of get that, like, I think it was like a $25 ticket.
Yeah.
Which,
an emerging artist, you support. She's a wonderful artist.
Yeah,
her music has meant a lot to us and to Claire, and it was a wonderful experience.
Yeah.
And so you're glad to do that.
Yeah.
Claire asked her about a song lyric.
Yeah.
And it was just, they had an interaction.
Mm-hmm.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
And she did like a shout out to all the choir kids.
Yeah,
which
that's
is Claire.
fun.
Claire's a choir kid.
What about all the fencing kids? Did she bring that up?
She didn't bring up fencing.
That's so interesting.
She's tried it, and she's like, not a lot of you out here.
No, she was wonderful to our fans. Yeah.
That's great.
It was amazing. Yeah.
This parlays into a concert etiquette discussion, which
awesome.
I'm very excited to do this in the group.
Mm-hmm.
This got posted on Nextdoor.
Our favorite app.
Yeah. I'm gonna reveal the band later because Andy will get a real kick out of who the band is. But last night at a concert, 2 women who were up and dancing at their seats were told to sit down by the people behind them. Please don't ask people to stop dancing. Instead, just get up and dance yourself. When the guest behind the dancers jumped over her seat and pulled the dancer's hair, security intervened. This really escalated. The dancers left on their own accord, and security ejected the seat jumper. Artists performing would rather have fans dancing than leaving because their good time was ruined by people who don't want to dance. Have a good time at concerts and let everyone else have a good time too. So this raises the question. I think this is an interesting question. What is proper etiquette for standing at a concert when the people behind you are sitting?
Depends on the band.
I know.
I think that dictates it. I mean, if you're at, obviously, concerts or musical experiences, obviously you're not going to stand in front of someone sitting at a symphony.
Yeah, that's
right,
true.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe like the ballads or the slow songs, like if there's those moments that they feel like everything goes on a hush.
Yeah.
You see that happen in an arena, like, oh, this is a good time to sit. We'll get a little storytelling in.
Yep.
Whatever. But you gotta be in it.
Yep.
You gotta know.
Yep. Mel?
I want to stand at a concert.
Yes, you do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
not all of them. You didn't want to stand at Damien Rice. Nobody stood at Damien Rice.
Nobody stood.
I mean, that's not.
Yeah.
That's an example.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. It's not like.
Yeah. Damien's like.
It's not a lot of twerking.
I gotta
at Damien Rice.
hang on every note.
Yeah.
You know.
It's great live show.
So, you're right. Yeah, but in general, I'm there to move around. Yeah.
Yeah. In my opinion, a concert and a sporting game are the same. You paid for that seat, and you can stand at your seat. It might be annoying to the person behind you, but you're allowed to stand at any time of that concert that you want and any time of that sporting game that you want. That's just how it goes. It's because, and I'll tell you, as someone who's on the stage, as a comic, I don't want you to stand, but we're not a thing you stand at. But I do want you to be as involved as possible, and I know bands want you to stand.
It's an exchange.
Yeah,
you know.
Years ago, we went and saw the Decemberist at the Woodland Park Zoo in Seattle, and we're all on blankets in like a field, and they were unhappy about it. They said something. They're like, I'm just playing for people at a picnic. They want you to be as into this as possible. And, I think you're allowed to stand. You know? I think you're,
Yeah. I think we should shift into which concerts are you allowed to pull hair in?
Yeah. Well, and, yeah. I think that if you...
Is there an element of if it's dark?
Well,
if it's dark, you can stand, or...
I don't know, man.
I agree with you.
There's certain concerts that you're going to, like, if you went and see, say, Elton John, we knew when it was time to sit and stand.
Yeah.
We just, the song kind of communicates it to you.
Yeah. Who's sitting during Saturday night?
Exactly. Yeah. A lot of old people, they were still sitting, but they can't get mad at us for standing, you know?
Right.
Also, this was, the concert was a dual headliner of Bad Religion and Social Distortion.
I think I saw it, and I couldn't remember. I'm like, oh, wait, I think I saw some Brooklyn Vegan or something.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
I can't believe it.
I'm going for a walk. Sit down.
Oh, it's so good.
One place where maybe a little hair pulling would be okay.
Apparently not.
Generator. I mean, that's honestly like, I think it's funny that Bad Religion is doing shows where there are seats now.
Oh my gosh.
I mean,
I know.
We're old.
Yeah.
There was this meme going around, or this TikTok that went viral, and it was like, he's like, you know, I was trying to figure out why everybody was so old at the Dave Matthews concert, and then it hit me. Oh, I'm this old.
What's wild is Brett Gerwitz, the guitar player for Bad Religion, was talking about how in his age, he's like, it's really bizarre to see a lot of conservatives come up and be like, yeah, man, you guys are punk rock, and like that side of it is like the punk, like kind of thinking in the space now, that like Trump is like a punk figure.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, this really is like, I mean, the same thing was when people were surprised. A lot of like conservative voices really love Rage, and then they're surprised that Rage is liberal, and Rage is like, what?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? This is what, do you not remember all the George Bush stuff back in the day? I mean, this was the Dick Cheney video. Like, did you not remember? This is who we are. This is what we do, you know?
Yeah.
It's weird. It's, you know. Anyways,
can't pull hair at their shows now.
Yeah, so concerts we recommend. Listen, we're just trying to kill some time during the summer. I mean, June.
Well, I mean, a concert can really be something to look forward to.
Yeah,
and like for example, with Claire, that show was end of March.
Yeah,
and she was gifted it for Christmas, so it's a fun memory. It's a fun night out.
Yeah,
and I do think there is something. I mean, just as like performing artists, like experiencing live music can be amazing.
Totally agree. And I think that this parlays into depending on the artist that you want to see, it can be like affordable, because some of this other stuff, like going to a baseball game, is crazy expensive right now. It's so you're like, and I think that this you know,
we have a stadium that's just gotten nicer and nicer.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they still have those Sunday. They used to have some Sunday tickets that were pretty affordable.
Yeah.
But if you have to eat with your family of 5, like a meal or 2.
Yeah.
You know,
it's hundreds of dollars.
Mm-hmm. It's like a theme park. Like,
this parlays it nicely, because I think that there's like based on a couple of new releases, a lot of people are asking the question, like, why are movies bombing? And one of them is it's just so expensive to take your family to the movies. It's a very, I mean, at $15, $20 a piece ticket. So we're near a family of 5. We're approaching $100 before we get in the door. Before,
That's crazy.
I mean, you're just like, and then everything streams so fast. You're like, do I need to see it now? I feel like I could see Inside Out 2 in
2 weeks
inside the comforts of my own home in a month. I'm not like dying to see that. Like, dude, you gotta see Inside Out 2 on the big screen. You gotta experience it. It's not exactly Avatar, like gotta experience it live. Yeah.
Yeah, the Dolby surround sound. You're like, whatever.
I think that
I don't know. I enjoy a movie, but
we're like once a year a family movie.
Yeah. I think maybe some of that is. I mean, sometimes the kids will go see a movie with their friends.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah, that's true.
So, I mean,
I think what it is for me, part of the reason that our family doesn't see a lot of movies is the movies that first off, no one can agree on the movie. That's problem number one.
Yeah.
The last time we went to the movies was on Mother's Day, and we were a group of 7 all together, and we saw 3 different movies.
We saw 2
different movies.
We almost saw
it.
3.
We split up.
Yeah.
Because we're like, you want to see this and you want this. That happened too.
Planet of the Apes is not
that happened
for 10-year-olds.
That happened when we went and saw Guardians a year ago too. We're like, we're here seeing different movies. So it's hard enough to get everyone to agree on the movie, and then you're like, this is so expensive. Like I don't.
Yeah.
And the movies that we would agree on, nobody's like, dude, we got to see that in theater. It's not, the experience isn't worth it, But movies are bombing. Furiosa is bombing. And that that was like Mad Max, a proven franchise. And it had like the lowest like Memorial Day opening since like the 80s. It has Chris Hemsworth and Anna Joy Taylor, like stars in it, and Warner Brothers.
Yeah,
and like
tested.
Yeah,
stars.
and a defined property, and it's apparently actually a good movie. Like people are liking it, but nobody's seeing it, and it couldn't have been marketed more. I mean, I saw the Furiosa advertising everywhere.
I wonder what, I don't know. I mean, it's just streaming, right?
I think it's streaming. I think it's expensive to go to movies, and we've already put our money into like entertainment by all these streaming services.
Yeah,
and so we're like, I'm already paying to see that movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'll wait. I'm already paying it. Why am I going to see it now?
I mean, it's probably like lowest on the totem pole for the group entertainment. Because
Yes.
now we have everything's personal entertainment, and I don't know that they'll fill the gap. Like
Yeah.
Because what else can you do to a movie that suddenly makes it that much better as a group?
Yeah.
It's like an escape room meets a movie.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like what's next? Or CrossFit in
Yeah.
a movie?
Yeah.
Oh, almost every movie that I go.
Well, they did dive in to swim.
Yes.
You can swim and watch a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. I'm kind of into that.
Yeah. Listen, there was like every movie I've seen, even ones I like, about an hour in, I was like, I should probably check my phone.
Yeah.
I mean, what's going on?
So
My
easy.
I actually kind of like that about movies in a theater is it's immersive.
Yeah.
That
Well, one of the nice things about
You know?
when your whole family's there, you don't have anything to check. You're like, all right, everybody's accounted for.
that was actually, I said this to you at your Iowa show because I haven't been to one of your live shows in a minute.
Yeah.
Like Seattle in March or February or March. I saw a guy pacing in the back on the phone. And I was like, that is a babysitter.
Yes.
He is solving a problem during the show.
Yeah.
And
100%.
or a teenager.
Yeah.
And I respected that.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got it. You're like, I'm going to post the clip soon. I had a crowd work moment where there was a girl on her phone, a woman on her phone in the front row. And she's like, sorry. I was like, don't apologize. You probably got to deal with that. And it was the 13-year-old who couldn't find her basketball jersey. I was like, yeah, yep, 100%. That's my fan base. I know exactly who you are, and it's a miracle that you made it out here. So,
It's in the dryer.
yeah.
Yeah.
So concerts, weddings, comedy shows,
Yeah.
pretty reasonable ticket.
Yeah.
But
Hey, you can go to a movie for the price of a comedy show,
there you go.
essentially.
For the
Yeah.
anything to get your kids to not beg for boba all day long. Anything. We're not even like, man, it's interesting because as a kid you loved summer break, and then I guess I didn't realize now how much my dad probably hated summer break.
I mean, I remember.
Well, no, okay. Let me. Can I intervene?
Sure.
Say what you're going to say, and then I'll say what I'm going to say.
No, I was just going to say that I remember one day, because 4-kid family, military family, my mom stayed home with us.
Yeah.
And yeah. I remember one time we went to the pool and we were just like, it was just full.
Yeah.
It was like a koi pond. Like, it was a full pool.
A koi pond is so funny.
A full public
Yeah.
pool on a military base. And we were just like bored.
Yes.
Because you can't swim if it's just like, you know, like you're just like, and I remember I think my mom was frustrated because she's like, go swim. And we were just like tired and hot.
Right.
And overstimulated by like this full pool.
Right.
And that is summer break, spring break, Christmas break.
Yeah.
You're like, hey, I'm trying to like give you an activity. I'm trying to supervise your screen time. I'm trying to make sure you're rested and you're not sunburnt yourself.
And I think
and
that's
hydrated. And are you going to forget all your math? And you never read a book this summer. And and I also do have to pull out my laptop and work.
Right.
And you're all different stages
100%,
and ages. And
100%. And I think that you're speaking to something that I wanted to talk about. Like, this current generation of parents is the first generation of parents that it gets to summer and we look at our kids like, oh, we have to do something with you. Like, we have to be involved in your... We're the first generation of parents that it gets to summer break and like, oh, we have to be involved in your lives.
It's not uncommon for teenagers to be at day camps.
Yes.
As helpers.
Yes.
Like
our parents... That wasn't a thing. Our parents, when we were kids, summer would hit and that would affect our parents' life in no way whatsoever. Because they didn't care. They weren't supervising us. Their lives did not alter in any way whatsoever. They went to work. They didn't go to work. They did whatever they did. They were not planning activities. They were not doing anything for us. They were not supervising us. There was no sidewalk chalk. There was no crafts. If we were lucky, they would turn the sprinkler on. Because that was entertainment back in the day, which is like, here's a stream, go jump. And you would jump for hours.
Yes.
You would jump through 8 streams of water. Oh, your legs are all itchy.
Yeah. If you're lucky, you had a slip and slide.
Yeah, or if you were poor, you had a tarp.
Yeah.
And if you were adventurous and poor, you had a tarp and the soap. And then you were cooking. And then you just left. And you would go out. And you would have this adventure. You had 10 hours. And you would meet strangers. And you would discover weird things in the woods. And you would get in a fight. And you would get scars. And you would come home. And your parents knew none of it. They had no idea of this. You lived a Huck Finn day every day. And they're like, what did you do today? You're like, I jumped off the school roof. And now I'm home. And they're like, that's fine. And now we're like involved in their lives because we know that was not good that we did that. So now
we're like, before you get on screens, you have to do 30 minutes of creative time. 2 household chores.
Yes.
30 minutes of outside activity.
Yes. And then
you can sit on your iPad from 10:30 to 6:30.
And they get on their devices and play Fortnite and Minecraft, and we lived that. We were out chasing people and building things with blocks and little shelters and shooting things at our friends. We lived Fortnite and Minecraft every day of summer until they posted the school list. And you're like,
ran to the elementary school.
Every day.
I got the mean teacher.
Yes, exactly. Dang it. Yeah, you would just like, what did you do today? You're like, oh, I learned how to drive a 4-wheeler. What? Where'd you find a 4-wheeler? Don't ask questions, Father.
He didn't.
I forged a new friendship in the ravine. We have new alliances.
Smashed a snake with a stick.
Yeah. Here it is. Yes. But now we as parents are just like, but we knew, that's what I'm saying. We're retroactively responding like, he probably shouldn't have done that. We needed some supervision. We can't just like, we're limping home every day with a splint, and, you're like, we met, you would meet, you're like, oh, we ran into the random guy who lives behind the school. Taught us how to roast marshmallows. Harass some people on the golf course. It doesn't. So, anyways, it is a total adjustment that now, and now our kids, they have the audacity to tell us that they're bored, and you're like, I would never mention boredom to my dad. Never.
Because you had a yard full of trees.
Exactly. And it would just be like...
that the leaves came down.
First off, they do the hi, board, I'm Dad. Nice to meet you. That was a classic dad line of the 90s. Mm-hmm. And then they're like, well, I'll make you not bored. And then it would just be chores. Mm-hmm. And now you're chopping down a tree. And you're like, you know what? Me and my friend are just going to go chop down a different tree, and it's going to feel different. Because it's not chores. What I'm saying is, it's once you get into summer break anymore, it's hard to know who's going to have the higher screen times, the parents or the kids. Okay, we got to do some wedding stuff, Mel. Or do we want to save that? We could save the wedding stuff for another time.
We can save it.
Let's save the wedding stuff for another time. I didn't do the weekend recap on my night last night at the store.
Let's do that. It's perfect.
So I had a funny experience last night. So
let's live vicariously through you, Dustin.
Oh. I got a text from Emily, the booker at the Comedy Store, when we were in Des Moines, and she was like, hey, do you want to be our secret headliner on Monday in the Belly Room? If you don't know anything about the Comedy Store, it's one of the 3 Sunset Clubs, the Laugh Factory, the Comedy Store, and the Hollywood Improv. And the store has 3 comedy rooms. There's the main room, the OR, the original room, and then the Belly Room. The Belly Room is the smaller one upstairs. I think it seats like 50, 75 people, something like that. Mm-hmm. And they do these things every once in a while, like secret headliner. And people just buy tickets. Mm-hmm. And I was very surprised to be asked to do this, because I'm like, I don't feel famous enough for this. I feel like this crowd is going to be a bit let down that Dave Chappelle doesn't walk out, because the secret headliner stuff started with Dave Chappelle. Mm-hmm. Now, other comics have done it since, so they don't necessarily know who's going to walk out there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But Emily very graciously offered to do it, and, the pay was good, especially for a Monday, and so I drove up and had a great time. But I will say, it was I was talking to the comics about it, and then I was texting Aaron Weber and Lucy today about it. What do I do, 300 shows a year for the last 12 years, 12, 24, how many, what's that? What's 12 times 300? Anyone?
36. 12 times 3 is 36.
We're 3,000, right? 4,000.
So be close to 4,000.
We're sneaking up on 4,000 shows for me. Times I've gotten on stage. If my math is correct, and it usually isn't. New little catchphrase there. Mm-hmm. I've never had the experience of walking to stage and people being disappointed. Like, I guess I've had similar versions of it where they don't know that there's an opener
for a famous
Tay,
headliner,
or for Nate or Chris back in the day. Sometimes people, especially I think this with like Tay, who Tay's a bad example. When people
a fan base that doesn't follow a lot of comics,
who might not even know that there's an opener.
This might be their first comedy show.
A lot of times people don't know anything about stand-up. Mm-hmm. They don't know that there's going to be openers. They don't know what the flow is going to be like, whatever it may be. But the feeling, that feeling is different, because they're realizing there's an opener, not, oh, this isn't a famous surprise. And that was a very unique thing where people were like kind of getting hyped. They're like, you know who your secret headliner is? And and then I'm like, hi. And it was a very funny, just like, listen, guys, I'm also disappointed I'm not more famous. We share that in common right now. And now Keith Johnson and Irene too and Alex Hanna, they all did spots before me, and Keith was like, hey, just to let you guys know, it's not Chappelle, which was like kind of nice favor of him to do.
Like, let's get these expectations.
And that's what it is. It's a
keep an open mind.
Yeah, and you know me, I'm like an expectations manager. I like really, I'm kind of always that in mind. I'm really conscious of that during crowds and stuff, and I feel like that's when I feel like when I have a real sense for when crowds are like the show's longer than it needs to be or whatever.
Yeah,
and it was a very entirely unique experience where people were like had bought a ticket. It wasn't.
It's like one of those surprise bags the kids like.
Yes, that's hilarious. Gosh, I wish I would have thought about that. I wish I would have thought about.
I already have this figurine.
I'm a blind box reveal, and I was like, but it was a funny moment because I was like, I know you guys are like, gosh, I haven't even heard of this guy, and I was like, I have fans. I like it's a legitimate thing, but I understand. I sell
tickets.
I sell tickets. I'm like a thing to a few of you. But and then I just do some of the old, like I look like I'm sent here to shut this event down, and that crushed, and then we really settled in, and we actually had a great time, and then I had an incredible experience of going from a crowd that was disappointed that I wasn't more famous, but then watching them like discover me, like totally anew, like. Because the store brings in...
Because you didn't have your fans there.
I had no fans there.
Yeah.
I had no... And I did a full hour with them. Yeah. So they're like, oh, like, I had every opportunity. It's really kind of cool that Emily does that because, and shout out to Emily, because it's I get the door, so it's a nice deal. And B, you kind of have this captive audience for an hour who's like, I'm already here. I'll give him a chance. And so you come out bang, like swinging, like boom, 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 boom. Like this is me here and just try and hook them.
Establish yourself, yeah.
But it was funny because the most common question after the show as they left the belly room was, what was your name again? Because it wasn't posted anywhere. It wasn't. There was no way to find it. And so at the end, it ended up being great, and a huge response, and it was great. And there was a lot of, and that's nice to have that set in front of a comics and stuff too. But it was
what was the demo like? Who goes to the belly room on a Monday night?
There wasn't a demo. It was a totally diverse crowd in the sense that there were people who were hoping for a famous person, sure. There was also like, yeah, let's go to comedy. Let's see what this is about. There's also, the store has a lot of tourists.
Yeah, so it's not locals. It's
no.
Like, let's go to Hollywood.
No, they really broke over the California clean joke, which has added stuff to that. Yeah, you know, I'm California sober. I've stretched it out now of, I only do weed, only weed.
You're gonna do the whole joke here?
No. Yeah. Okay. No, I'm not gonna do it. Like, come on, Dustin.
Save it, Dustin.
No. Well, I did it on the pod originally.
Yeah.
It was a pod joke.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Forgive me.
Yeah. No, weed. I slow it down. Anxiety meds, sleeping aid. It kind of starts to build a little bit. Ketamine. I had a ketamine and Ozempic. That's it. Clean living for me. It's just green juice and every once in a while shrooms. Clean living. No toxic. I think that we're going to get the filmed version of that in San Diego because that's like a joke that doesn't go in the act. That's like a throwaway joke, but
yeah,
it was fun. Thank you, Comedy Store, for having me. And if you're in the LA area, I have no more shows for you until November, and that's in Oxnard, which is not really the LA area. But I'm doing a lot of Cali coming up. I've got Bakersfield in there. We've got Oxnard. We've got SF. We've got Sacramento.
Yeah.
Anyways, thanks for tuning in, everybody. We stayed pretty on the rails for our second episode day.
We did.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, folks, we want to give a special shout out to our Essential as Oils patrons. That is our $25 a month and up patrons. Thanks so much. for being a part of this podcast. Thanks, guys. Those people are
Averill Griffith,
Adam Bush,
Allison Nelson,
Andy and Darlene Girton,
Bonnie Galindo,
Brandon Schoenberger,
Carrie Teague,
Christopher and Bridget Finlan,
Code to Grow,
Courtney Eibling,
Damaris Diaz-Stevens,
Daniel Owens,
Dave and Melissa Cox,
Dave Hoagland,
Dustin Daly,
Jason and Francis White,
Jessica Hanrahan,
Joshua and Nikki Platt.
Jordan Cowan.
I like when we get the couples. The couples are fun. I mean, everybody else they can get in here too. Juliana Smith,
Lori Amos,
Matt and Sam Slosdom. I got another couple one. I'm getting all the couples.
Michelle Castle,
Again, Nathan and Jennifer Merritt.
Nicole Caroz,
Rachel Wilson, who was one person but has a part, and they came and saw me in Fort Collins. You guys are the best. It's like the fourth time. They always have different merch. They were wearing the dad bod. They had overwhelmed stuff. They are the best.
Rachel Kennedy,
Robert and Nellie Capin,
Stephen Mina,
and Tiffany
Tiffany Payne.
Payne. Thanks so much for being the best, everybody. Bye.
Bye.